Sunday, yep.
Thank you, Todd. Well, good afternoon. Season so far has been going great. We're 7-2-5. Had a challenging schedule. It's been ups and downs for us as far as opponents we played. We played some lesser opponents. Played some Power Fives in Alabama, who was top 8 in the country. It's a relatively young group. We returned most of our team, minus 2 starters from last year's squad. Entered SoCon play with only 1 loss to Alabama at home. That first weekend we opened the SoCon play was at Chattanooga. Good match. Unfortunately, came on the wrong end of the match, and then we had a game on Sunday against UNCG at home, who knocked us out last year of a championship, last game of the season. And then those last 2 games at home, we had Wofford, which we beat 3-1, and then we hosted ETSU on Sunday here yesterday, who was top of the table. They were undefeated in the SoCon play, and we came out with a 1-0 result in a pretty physical match. So right now, we're tied with them in Chat in second place, and above us is Sanford and Western Carolina, and we host both those teams at home over the next couple weeks.
I know year after year, Coach, you guys have scheduled those Alabamas. You prepared yourself for SoCon as a team in the Southern Conference, where you likely have to win the conference. How important is that non-con test for your team?
It's extremely important because it gives us an eye into what kind of team we'll face and play. We'll most likely play a seeded team on the road. So we want to see what the top teams are like in the SEC and ACC to prepare us for that match in the first of the NCAA tournament. So in years past, we played Auburn, we played Florida State, we played Florida. So it's important for our girls to see that caliber, but also to push our team. That team was a Final Four team. And to be able to say, I played against these girls who are going to be drafted this January in the NWSL draft is a huge testament to where our program has come. And even to host them here is pretty impressive for our program.
How far has this program come along since you've been here?
The program has success when I got here. I think we just elevated a notch as far as just contacts and what we've done over the course of my 12 years here. We've knocked off Alabama in the past. We've had tight games with Auburn, tight games with Georgia. So we've come a long way to the point where it's difficult at times to play some teams who are relatively the same size like us, to play some big South schools we can't play. Some schools won't play us, so we're forced to play some Power Fives, and we encourage that challenge. We welcome it. It's a testament to the program, just how we've gotten better consistently. But again, we don't want to play too many of those opponents where you go 0-4, let's say, then mentally it's draining. But it's a good sign for our program to play those teams and be competitive with those matches.
And lastly, for you guys to get where you want to be between now and playoff time, what do you like? What needs to change maybe going forward?
I like how we're clicking right now. We have this tandem of a sophomore and a freshman, and Jada Moorman and Larkin Thomason, who have 9 goals and 8 goals, 17 goals. And that tandem usually takes years to develop and build, like any relationship, quarterback, receiver, whatever it might be. But they're gelling really quickly. So over these next 4 or 5 games, I hope that continues. When one kid scores, the other one kind of gets a chip on his shoulder and wants to catch up to them. So I want that to continue, hopefully. We've gelled really well defensively. It was our first shutout yesterday in some time, but it was a very good defensive effort. As you get into conference, our roster does shrink a little bit. We were playing 20 girls, let's say, 18 girls. Now we're playing 13, 14 players. So I like where we're at. We're playing well. We're playing with some intensity. And as the games go consistently, we're improving as the half goes into the second half, into the 90 minutes. So I'm really happy how that's going. To keep working on is just have the hunger, the drive. I think we've burned in their memories last year's 32 seconds from UNCG. That's how close we were, I should say, to winning a SoCon Championship. We conceded a corner kick that led to a goal. So that's been burned in the memory since that moment of last October to finish every match. We had a relapse at Chat, but now ever since then, we've really pushed them. And this game yesterday, the last 8 minutes, we really killed the game really well. Didn't give them any chances, opportunities. So I was proud how the team really responded to this last few minutes of the game yesterday.
What are the keys to being successful year in and year out? I mean, once you get to a certain level, being there and then going well?
I think recruiting the right kids is probably the most important thing. Finding a kid that has the balance of want to be playing at a very competitive Division I level, but also has a balance of academics, because Mercer is a rigorous academic institution. It has something to prove. We get a lot of kids that we might offer a significant more amount of scholarship than, let's say, UGA or something else, and they want to prove those big schools wrong. We got to find those kids that are a little bit more blue collar and gritty. They're not going to be the finished product. We develop over time. So between the right recruit who wants to develop over her 4 years here, but also be pushed to get better, that's where we make our strides. We're never going to get the All-American national team kid who plays the national team. But can we find the kid that's just as hungry as that kid there, that has a few things we got to change, but has a few intangibles that people don't know about, and we can develop that. And with our culture, we've retained a lot of kids. We don't lose many kids. I think it's helped us to grow, because kids are here for 4 years and with COVID for 5 years, that we have a strong base, a strong foundation of kids who want to be here and enjoy being a Mercer Bear.
Tony, some people are built, or some teams are built on their defense, some on their offense, some on the tenacity and work ethic. Yeah, what's the defining characteristic of your team?
Right now, I'd say it's attacking. We've scored 34 goals, I think. We're really creating a lot of opportunities. Like I said, the dynamic duo of Larkin and Jada has been phenomenal. They have Lana with 4 goals behind her and another assortment of players with 2 and 1 goal. So I think we're a very attacking-oriented team, and we've shored up the defending to, like I said yesterday, killing that match off. I mean, they had a kid yesterday who played on the South African national team who played against our national team, the U.S., the Sunday before. So she's played against the top level in the U.S., and we shut her down. Took her out of the match, she wasn't a factor in us. So our attacking has continued to rise, creating opportunities. And on the backside, defending, it was great to see us get that clean sheet, that shutout, and defensively take pride of not offering opportunities, not giving up many corner kicks. So I was really proud of how the team balanced it all out yesterday while keeping their composure.
What are some things that you've learned about this team along the way that maybe you didn't know about in your preseason?
They're very adaptable. They're very coachable. We have morphed into a few different formations in the course of matches. As we watch the match, we're making adjustments, like where's their supply chain coming from? Where are they finding pockets of space to get opportunities? So we've had to tweak some things tactically in the course of the match, and they've adapted on the fly really quickly. We're one of the sports that has no timeout, so we can't pull the team together and say, let's switch this up. It's on the call, on the fly. You're saying we're going from this formation, and our girls have done a phenomenal job adapting live into something, and we've had success with that. I think we've outcoached teams the last few weeks, and they haven't made the adjustments we've made. So we go into halftime, we tweak a few things, and we come out second half, and if you see our record in the second half and creating opportunities, we've really outnumbered teams and outpaced teams with our tactical adjustments. So this group is resilient as far as taking information, applying it, and adjusting on the fly.
I know we talked this morning, you were listing some games you got coming up. What are some of those games that maybe your kids may have circled on the calendar, and how do you get to keep them from looking ahead too much?
Well, before I get to the big one, the first we have is Thursday against VMI, which looks easy, but they just beat Citadel, and Citadel was up 2-0 at halftime and came back and beat Citadel 3-2. So they have some momentum trying to get out of the bottom 2 to be able to host a playing game. After that, we have Western Carolina at home, which is always a physical affair. They're sitting top of the table with Sanford. That's going to be at home that Sunday. That's a 1-goal game, 2-goal game. It's a pretty physical match. No love lost there. And obviously the biggest one is October 12th for us, which is Sanford. But again, you got to take care of the first 2 to make that one October 12th mean as much as it needs to mean. But we're in a collision course with them. We're excited for that to be at Bet Stadium. Last year we tied them in regular season. We lost in the semifinal, but unfortunately, we couldn't get one in. They got one in, credit to them. But we feel this year we have the talent plus the grit to be able to take away what's good for them. So those are our next big matches. And after Sanford, designates we go to Furman, who's right now 1 point behind us, and then we end up with at Citadel last game of the season.